All right, we are making waves again here at the podcast booth at Genoa Design, and we're pretty excited to have our next guest on board. You know, Genoa Design brought us into this conversation. They were thinking creatively, how do we get people talking about the excitement in the marine sector right now, in the defense industry? You can feel it in the air. There's a lot of good things happening here.
Absolutely.
Right? And Genoa Design, front and center, they knew that they needed to get people talking. So what a pleasure it is right now to have Genoa Design's Chief Technical Officer join us here today. Laurie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Like you said, I'm Genoa's Chief Technical Officer, the very first one that they've had, and that's just a signal, I think, of the growth that they have experienced over the last few years. I take care of the program team at Genoa as well as the technical team. So everything that is client-facing that needs to be met from a technical perspective to deliver to the client, that's my bailiwick. And similarly, I'm taking the sales team under my wing for a while with some support, of course, across the company. And another signal of the growth, we'll have a chief marketing and sales officer onboarded. And then that team will move over, the sales marketing team will move over to that wing.
How did you find yourself in this world? Where did you come from to get here?
I've been in shipbuilding pretty much my full career. I spent almost 16 years at the Irving Shipbuilding and their engineering arm, Fleetway Engineering. So I kind of grew up with them. I tell people I started as a junior engineer, and when I left Fleetway a couple of years ago to join Genoa, I was their director of engineering. So it was a really nice segue into, managing the pure engineering and technical side to a broader operations, business side of things, overall growth, development, the whole gamut. So I'm learning a lot. It's very fast paced. So it's exciting for me, and it's that next step in my career that I was really eager for. And combine that with the pandemic and snowstorm my first week, Snowmageddon the first week I joined
You
Genoa.
grew up in St. John's though, right?
I did. You can pick up that from the accent.
No,
right?
you told me earlier. So you started around the time that the storm, Snowmageddon, happened, correct?
Yes.
Welcome back to St. John's. Hey?
I know. We went from that, not being able to actually drive to the office my first week of work, to, fast forward a couple of months later, and we're into the pandemic.
Yeah.
Right.
We got a bit of practice for a week and a bit, didn't we?
Locking down?
Yeah, we did.
So you went through Memorial?
I did.
How was that experience?
Wonderful.
Co-op program?
I did. I did the co-op program back when it was 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was neat. At the time, I thought, this is never going to end.
Right.
But looking back, having a work term every second term, getting used to being in the industry, talking to people.
Yeah.
Besides what I learned technically through those engineering work terms, it was the experience, right? The interactions, the collaborations, how businesses run, how work gets delivered, how the customer's requirements in any business,
right? That's invaluable
is,
stuff.
the most important thing. Kind of thing.
So where were your work terms back then?
Funny enough, all my work terms were in oil and gas.
It
wasn't until I graduated. I spent a little bit of time with Halliburton in the UK.
Okay.
And then after that, my husband actually got posted to Nova Scotia in the Air Force.
Okay.
So then I moved with them and started my career then in shipbuilding. Between his background with, he was an Army reservist, then he moved into the Air Force. I worked in shipbuilding, serving the Navy, Navy customers, and we really, kind of the whole family really just focused on the defense industry.
Well, I don't thank the Air Force for much, but thanks for bringing you to know. I'm not
right.
normally a guy that thanks the Air Force a lot, but thank you to the Royal Canadian Air Force for getting you in Nova Scotia and getting you in the shipbuilding world.
And I will say one of my best experiences was on a Sea King, dangling my legs out, coming over.
With the monkey tail behind you.
With the monkey tail behind me, absolutely.
Yeah, Laurie, that happened to me when I was about 18 years of age over Gross Morn. And
really?
The pilots were having a bit of fun with the young officer cadet. and dangling.
Yeah.
We were dangling. I guess
Yeah.
you did the same.
I did.
Incredible experience,
Yeah, it
though,
was,
wasn't it?
yeah.
So, Laurie, I mean, here we are at DevSec. I mean, you can feel the excitement in the air. People are chomping at the bit to
Yeah.
get back to business.
Yeah.
A lot of growth here. Talk to us a little bit about the growth in the sector right now.
Yeah. Well, the growth, like you said, you can feel it at this conference.
Right.
I was here a few years ago, prior to the pandemic, obviously, and it was a little bit smaller. It was at a different location. I think a lot of things are making it. The energy here today
Right.
or through the conference has been so exciting.
Something, yeah.
Where this location in the center of the city,
Yeah.
you walk out the door, you get the fresh air, you get the vibe. That's helping. There's a lot of new faces here.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just new people from the same businesses. There's new businesses here.
Right.
So the defense and the security and the aerospace industry is opening up. I think there's potential for not just growth of companies like ourselves. The industry is opening up to new technologies, new innovation, and I think technology companies are sharing their innovations sooner. Maybe they're not even ready to go to market, but they're getting that input from people that are here from
Right.
the industry, and a lot more collaboration early on. So
Right.
yeah, it's just a lot of energy and a lot of sharing
Yeah.
and coming together to make the shipbuilding industry, the defense industry, the aerospace industry, more better together.
Right. Yeah.
They're just diversity. There's so much more thought from different places.
Yeah.
Not necessarily technical people
Right.
or shipbuilders or marine engineers. It's just really that diversity of thought that's leveraging the whole community, the whole ecosystem that's supporting this business.
It's interesting, Alan, to hear that. I just want to say that most people in the technology industry hold their cards very close to their chest.
Yeah.
That comes from a little bit of mistrust. What we're seeing here is that people are kind of putting the cards on the table.
Absolutely,
For you to say that people are willing to actually share their product before it's even ready, wow, that takes guts and courage,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
100%, Jerry. I mean, it's sharing and collaboration. I picked up on both those words,
Yeah.
and you can really feel it here. I mean, people are really eager to work together.
Yeah.
They want to see this whole industry thrive
Yeah.
and succeed. There is a great sense of pride here. When you talk to the people in uniform, you talk to some of the academic folks we've had the pleasure of speaking with, and the industry leaders as well. There's a genuine feeling that they're contributing to something and they're proud of what
Yeah.
they're doing. Genoa is a big part of that, right?
Absolutely. So, Genoa's success under the NSS is just one example of that, right? We've grown so much and we're proud of, where we've come in a 25-year span. Post-pandemic or during pandemic, we onboarded over 100 people. It's, we couldn't have done that without, the ability to grow in Canada and leverage our skills. And Genoa's always been a big collaborator. We often say we're a communications company because we use our technology to communicate. We communicate through our people, through our teams and our systems. So it's, it's really allowed us to showcase who we are by culture and by technology, and really just take off.
You talk about, use the word team a lot. You keep repeating team and team and team. And I sense that at Genoa. There's a real team spirit here. Everybody is in the game. They're all rowing together. And I personally have some friends that work at Genoa, and I tell you, they love the environment. They love the collaboration. They love the mentorship that's provided in there, and there's a genuine desire to help one another. You've got to be a big part of that as Chief Technical Officer, right?
And I think that was definitely one of the things that drew me to Genoa, that just knowing everyone wants to hear your voice, not just my voice, I mean everyone's voice, everyone's input, and that using others' ideas to make a better idea brings people together.
Right.
They see how they influence the next step in Genoa's success story. So, it's really felt. It's not, it's not something we say. It's not, a banner on the door. You come in, and I think that's, we've had some challenges through the pandemic, as everyone is. Just how do we maintain that culture? How do we keep people connected when everyone is so remote and distributed? But because it's part of our culture, it's who we are. it's I won't say it's easier, but in a way it's been easier. And while we're remote, the culture that we live has helped us continue that collaboration through the elements and the struggles that the pandemic has put on us.
Yeah, and culture is such an important word, right? It's such an important part of any business, and sometimes people don't talk about that's not front and center in their conversation. But it is. It's they're concerned about how people are working well together, because they know that if everybody works effectively together, the end product is going to be so much better.
Absolutely. I can't say it enough. We say it through our innovation teams, through our technology teams, through our sales teams, through our HR teams. Diversity of that just creates so much more, and will bring us, to the next. We're almost 300 people now. That's what's going to make us, however big we become in the future.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to do it. Jerry, your thoughts?
Well, you know what, Laurie? I've been in business for 30 years. I've been business development, and there's a lot of ups and downs. But I hear a lot of companies talk like what you just said. But my experience in the short time that we've been collaborating together is that you guys walk the talk. The fact that Gale Force Winds has been invited to do this, we're 9 months into this little baby Alan and I have created, and I really appreciate what the culture that is Genoa.
Yeah.
It's a culture.
Yeah.
It's not a company. It's a culture, and
is.
it's really interesting. Thought leadership.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you very much for
Thank
having
you.
us to be part of this.
Oh, our pleasure. And again, Genoa always has a vision, and it's further ahead. And you said it earlier, Alan. Genoa had this vision for you guys to come here and really make a difference, and it has. Like the buzz, the feel, the energy around our booths has been outstanding, and I thank you for that.
Well, Laurie, that's very kind. We're just a couple of guys talking in the corner here. We're not adding much to Genoa's overall business model, but I can tell you that it's been a real pleasure to be a part of the Genoa team for just these couple of days. I tell you, you can really feel the connection that people here have with one another. You can. There's a difference. There's a different vibe around what's happening at Genoa, and that comes from good structure, good governance, and all of those pieces. But it also comes from really solid leadership. And as a chief technical officer, and all the things that you described that the teams are involved in, you're a big part of that. So you're a strong leader in the middle of all of this, and we appreciate it. And we appreciate what you're doing in this industry, quite honestly. Genoa is a big part of what's happening in the shipbuilding and the marine sector and the defense sector right now. Admiral Brian Santarpia described the industry partners as serving the country. I thought that was just a brilliant way to describe it. Oftentimes we use the word service when we talk about uniformed people, and that'd be near and dear to your heart because there's a military connection with you as well. But the service runs deeper in this country, and the service is all around us right now. It's the people that are in these booths that are trying to make this country a better, a stronger, a safer nation. And you know what? Genoa is a big part of that. And Laurie, you're a big part of that.
Oh,
so thank
you. Yeah, we're excited. I'm excited.
We're
Thank
there.
you.
Thank you.